is a delicious sour cream and blue cheese dip. This is something that I make when my friends come over, and it's the first to go because they love it that much. And it's really easy to put together. So into a bowl, I'm going to add some blue cheese. Now there's many different varieties of blue cheeses you can use. You can use some Gorgonzola, Dolce, something a little milder, or you can use something a little more intense like a Stilton. So it's up to you on how strong you want the blue cheese to come through. Now for some cream cheese, this is going to bind everything together. And I've brought my cream cheese out of the fridge an hour ago. You don't want it to be too cold because it'll form lumps. So now just with a little spatula, we want to just fold these two ingredients together. You see, it's quite firm to start with, but we just want to mix that before we start adding in our sour cream. Now the sour cream is an important element to this because it's going to give us that lovely tang and balance out the richness. I also like to use a lighter sour cream for this, so it's not going to be too heavy with these other two cheeses. So in with a few generous spoonfuls of our light sour cream. And again, we're just going to fold that through. Okay. Now for some texture, I'm going to add some walnuts. So we'll just take them out of the bowl and we're going to roughly chop them until they're quite small in size. So you'll also notice that I've toasted these walnuts to really get as much flavour out of them as possible. Okay, that's looking good. I'm quite generous with the walnuts for this because I want every scoop to have some of the walnuts through it. Walnuts, blue cheese, sour cream, all best mate. So that's why it works so nicely in this dip. Now, a little sweetness from some honey. So a small amount, just a drizzle. And a pinch of salt. And then just fold that in until everything's really well combined. And that's the consistency that we're after. Okay, we're going to serve this up with some lavash on the side, a generous spoonful of our beautiful sour cream dip into the bowl. And you can see that it's thick and lush, and that's how it should be. You don't want it to be too liquidy. I'm going to grab a spoon and just spread that out. And what I like to do is just add some freshly cracked pepper on the top because blue cheese and pepper are synonymous with each other. But also, I want to serve this with some other ingredients on the side with the lavash. So blue cheese and pear and pepper also go together. So it's really fun playing around with all of these matching ingredients. So we'll just cut some of this Bourbosque pear. You can see it's quite firm. I want it to be firm because we've got that dip. You want to make sure that the pear's not too soft so you can actually scoop up that delicious dip. So we'll just cut them into wedges. And we'll pop that onto our plate. And finally, some endive leaves. Now these are really prominent in the winter or cooler months. They're quite bitter, and so it is one of those things that if you can find it, please add it to this recipe because it goes so nicely with the tangy tartness of that sour cream dip. So that is a really interesting homemade dip. It's thought-provoking because you've got all those flavours together. You have a quick lavash with it and then that tastes delicious. Then you have some pear, which is slightly sweet and crunchy. And finally, that bitter endive leaf to go with that creamy, delicious dip. I love this, and if your friends are like mine, they're gonna love it too.